Yeah, you know what's funny about that too?
Everybody hated when he had a character.
Exactly. My favorite moment, the best character development moment, everyone hated because he lost his aura.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Life is Daijoubu, episode 79. My name is Cole. I'm joined by Thane, fresh out of the shower. He, never mind, I'm not going to finish the song.
What?
And I'm also joined by Skylar on the far end.
I'm also fresh out of the shower.
Oh, I know it, yeah.
You got it. Is that Tyler
He's
the
looking
creator?
through your window.
That's
He's
Tyler,
at your window.
You said that,
Yeah.
that's Tyler Creator?
Yeah.
Nice. I know rap.
1, 2, you're the one that I want.
We got an anime podcast for y'all. Today, we will be talking about Inuyashiki Last Hero. So roughly around the halfway point of the show, that's where we'll be going into that. Full spoilers for the 11 episode series, Inuyashiki Last Hero. Before we do that, of course, we got some news. And if you are at all aware of anime news over the past couple days, you know that the Crunchyroll Anime Awards for 2025 just happened. They had the award show and everything, and we're going to be running down all of the major awards, quote unquote major awards. And I think it'd be fun to say the nominees and say which ones we would choose, and then I'll tell you.
I got a question on that real quick though. Is the Japanese year different than ours?
This is just Crunchyroll doing it.
This is
Why would they do it
an
in
American
May?
thing?
I don't know.
Well,
I have no
that's
idea.
why I'm asking if it's Japanese, because I know it's Crunchyroll like Japanese, but why would they do it in May?
No. The whole world since long ago has been on the same calendar.
I think they're just slow.
I think
Crunchyroll just barely getting around to it, dude.
Oh, so this is for 2024?
Yeah.
Oh, did I say 25? My bad.
No.
2024.
No.
You may have not
It's
said
2025.
Oh, it is
It's
2025?
2025 awards, but it's doing for the shows in 2024.
Okay.
Yeah.
See,
So
okay,
they're just really
That's why I'm
late.
confused. I was wondering why they wouldn't do it in December, like most award shows, or January even.
Yeah. Well,
Or February even.
the Oscars were in March, so.
But we're May.
March, yeah, we're halfway through.
Yeah, I know. We're
Halfway through the year.
When we've forgotten about most anime from 2024. So, but the one funny thing,
probably my favorite didn't win anything.
one funny thing is that this was held in Japan, so they had to go on Japan time, and it was 2:00 in the morning when it was airing in America.
Yeah.
It's oh
Did
Lord.
you guys watch any of it?
No.
I saw someone was streaming it, and then I went to bed, and it's I don't care.
I think it's funny that Crunchyroll puts a big deal on these awards. If you remember from previous awards, we had Best Fantasy was Demon Slayer, for example. So I'm sure you can know what you're about to hear. You can understand what you're about to hear in a second.
So
It's
here's
going to
the
be the Shonen
Yeah.
Awards.
Hold on.
What do you say?
Here's the thing about this. People are still baffled by this. I'm pretty sure they still do it this method. So it's 50% van votes and 50% jury votes, which I'm I mean, if you want to get them involved, get the community involved, sure.
Yeah, I voted on it. I remember that actually.
Yeah.
It popped up on Crunchyroll and I was on there. So I was I guess I'll click the buttons. And I clicked the buttons. I couldn't tell you right off the top of my head what I picked for everything, but after I look at nominations, I must have clicked wrong. That is the only thing I can assume.
Because the ones that we wanted to win didn't win.
What do you say then?
But with this, usually fans are very biased. They don't think when they vote. They only think most recent thing, vote for it, and they don't think. And I mean, that's not totally against them. I mean, I can understand you vote for the most thing.
Recency bias.
Yeah, recency bias. So it's I'm thinking maybe they would separate it a jury vote and a fan vote. Here's what the jury voted for. They get the big award, and here's the fan vote. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think Game Awards, I know a lot of people have a problem with those guys. Don't get me started. But they do it a 20% fan vote and an 80% jury vote. So they take fan votes in consideration, but it's the jury's decision who wins, pretty much.
Hey, I don't care how they count them, as long as at least the Game Awards does it in a reasonable time of the year.
That's true.
For the end of the
Unfortunately,
year.
they do trim out a few games that could be potential Game of the Year winners, but there's like 2 or 3 games that come out that could be Game of the Year, and they just throw them in the next year. So whatever.
Maybe next year Crunchyroll will do it in January. That's not going to happen.
No.
It'll be May again. All right, well, without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into these. I'm going to start with the ending sequence. So there was a lot of voice actors from like lots of different languages that they have nominated for things. I didn't. We're gonna go past those.
Yeah, it's like
I don't know voice actors well enough.
It's like that. Those categories are only like catered to like that specific language who watches those dubs and so it's like you're not gonna get many.
I could probably say like English voice actors I know, but even still, like I don't watch most things dubbed right away unless they happen to have a dub, and very very infrequently do they have dubs right away. So
yeah,
and these are shows that came out while we were watching them as they aired, so I don't know the English voice actors. Anyway, without further ado, we have the best ending sequence, or like the best ending song. The nominees were I'm just going to say the name of the show: Ranma 1/2, Oshinoko Season 2, The Elusive Samurai, Kaiju Number 8, Solo Leveling Season 1, and Dan to Dan. So your favorite ending, if you can even remember the ending songs.
I'm gonna say
Oshinoko.
Kaiju. I think Kaiju won.
Oh, who won?
Yeah, who won?
My personal favorite.
Or who would you have picked? I guess
I would have picked Oshinoko.
I pick Kaiju.
I'm with Thane. I pick Oshinoko as well. I appreciate your pick, Sky, but you got to remember, like, I understand this is your pick.
Oh yeah, I'm American. I forgot.
But we're looking at the weebs that are picking. What are the weebs picking?
Weebs don't listen to One Republic.
Apparently, it's not weebs either, because it was Solo Leveling that was picked. It's just the people like showing it. You're ready for me to say that word a lot the rest of the night.
Yeah.
Next up, favorite intro. We've got Kaiju Number 8, Mashal. This is Season 2, Mashal. Oshinoko Season 2, Solo Leveling Season 1, Dan to Dan, or One Piece.
Dan to Dan.
Yeah, I think Dan to Dan was probably my favorite.
I would have picked Dan to Dan, and Dan to Dan actually won that one. So
Hey.
look at that. We did it. Next up, best anime score. We got Bleach, Dan to Dan, Demon Slayer, Frieren, Look Back, the Fujimoto movie, and Solo Leveling.
It's probably Solo
Yeah,
Leveling.
I'm gonna say Solo Leveling as well.
Solo Leveling was pretty good soundtrack.
I'm pretty confident. Like, I chose Frieren when I did the buttons, and I think I still stand by that. But yeah, it was Solo Leveling that won. To be fair, Hideyuki Sawano, like, he's goated. Like,
Yeah.
like, at least that one's not just a generic action button click. Okay. I'm gonna skip best anime song because it's literally just the same thing.
Who won?
It was Dan to Dan.
Dan to Dan, yeah.
Yeah. We'll skip. Or I don't know. We'll be here forever if we don't skip everything. But it's must protect at all cost character.
I looked at some of those, and it's like some of those characters are highly capable of protecting themselves. Like
Absolutely, yeah.
Frieren is on there. It's like, no, she's protecting everyone else.
Yeah, I don't understand it either. You got Anya Forger, Frieren, Okarun from Dan to Dan, Senshi from Delicious in Dungeon, Tokiyuki Hojo from Elusive Samurai, and Yuki Itose from A Sign of Affection.
I can see 2 characters
That one might
there.
have won.
Those 2.
Last one, you think?
No, it was Anya.
It was Anya.
Oh, freaking
Those are only 2 characters I know who like can't protect themselves.
I mean,
Everyone else
like,
is perfectly capable.
Anya's a child, right? So like that's fair.
Also, why Senshi over Marcel?
I don't freaking know, dude. Alright, best supporting character. We got Fern, Himmel, Jean Shi from Apothecary Diaries, Seiko from Dan to Dan, Senshi from Delicious Dungeon, and Turbo Granny from Dan to Dan.
I got nothing. I'm not even gonna pick.
Fern.
I think I picked Jean Shi,
Okay.
but Fern was the one that won. Next up, best main character. You ready? Frieren from Frieren, Kafka Hibino from Kaiju number 8, Okarun from Dandadan, Mao Mao from Apothecary Diaries, Momo from Dandadan, and Sung Jinu from Solo Leveling.
Mao.
People are gonna pick Sung, I think.
Yeah, they're gonna.
What would you pick though out of that?
Probably Frieren.
I picked Frieren as well, and it was indeed Jinu that won. Solo Leveling is the best anime ever made.
Gosh.
Actually, I'll pick Frieren too. I like both Mao Mao and Frieren.
Yeah, fair. Best slice of life anime. We got Laid Back Camp Season 3, Makine Too Many Losing Heroines, Mr. Villain's Day Off, My Dear Friend Nokotan, Sound Euphonium 3, and The Dangers in My Heart Season 2.
Dangers. I like
Sound
Dangers in My
Euphonium
Heart.
probably won.
I
Apparently
actually
that's really
surprisingly
popular.
saw 3 of those.
Yeah.
Even though I'm not really a slice of life guy, but one we picked for the
One
show.
we did pick for the show.
One I picked because it was absurdist comedy. Another I picked because I just picked it out of a whim.
Well, what would you pick for your favorite?
Probably Dangers in My Heart.
Sky?
I don't think I've seen any of those.
Oh, you
Except
watched Mika Neke.
we watched,
Oh, yeah, you didn't see any. You saw the Too Many Losing Heroines because we
Yeah.
watched it for the show.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say Sound Euphonium won.
It was actually. Oh, I guess I think I picked Nokotan, but it was actually Too Many Losing Heroines that won.
Oh.
Yeah. Next up is Best Drama Anime: A Sign of Affection, Dead Demons Data Destruction, Frieren, Oshinoko Season 2, Pluto, and the Apothecary Diaries. Which
Dude,
one?
Pluto, I looked through. Pluto got snuffed in all those categories.
Well, spoilers.
I'm sorry. Sorry, I had to bring that up.
Well, we know Pluto didn't win.
What would you pick to win this one?
I'd pick Oshinoko probably.
A thing.
Probably Oshino. Pluto. Personal pick Pluto.
Yeah.
Because I liked Pluto a lot.
I also would have picked Oshinoko, but apparently Frieren won. Apparently that was best drama. I don't know if I'd call it a drama
Yeah,
personally.
it's a fantasy.
Frieren is a slice of life where you learn about life, and occasionally you get some battles.
And very rarely maybe drama.
And you learn to take a life.
Yep.
You need to.
Best Isekai Anime. We got Konosuba 3, Mushoku Tensei Season 2, ReZero Season 3, Shangri-La Frontier Season 2, Suicide Squad Isekai, and That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime Season 3. So obviously Suicide Squad anime won, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
I like Slime, but that last season was rough. I'm gonna pick Mushoku Tensei for me.
ReZero.
Yeah. I would pick Mushoku Tensei as well, but I'm biased. But I'm not disappointed with the winner, which was ReZero. Next
It
up.
was all hype. Mushoku Tensei.
It was
like,
literally, ReZero Season 3 was just hype moments and aura,
Yeah.
which is what we need nowadays.
Mushoku Tensei people were like, he's ED arc. But it was core 2, right?
It was core 2, yeah.
So that
it
wasn't
was
even
past
ED.
that, yeah.
Yeah.
The first half of that was just slice of life, though.
Yeah.
Next up, Best Action Anime. We've got Bleach, Dandadan, Demon Slayer, Kaiju number 8, Solo Leveling, and Windbreaker. What would you choose to win that one?
I like Windbreaker a lot, but I know it's solo leveling.
I see. I know it's solo leveling as well, but there were moments in Kaiju number 8 where I'm like, "This is freaking sick." I'd still probably pick solo leveling because there's more freaking
kind of sad
sick
because
stuff.
Windbreaker's fights are like art.
Choreography stuff, yeah.
Yeah, they like actually choreograph those fights. It's amazing.
I also would have picked Solo Leveling, and Solo Leveling did win this one.
Shocker.
Shocker. Best Comedy Anime. We've got Delicious in Dungeon, Konosuba Season 3, Mashal Season 2, My Dear Friend Nokotan, Ranma 1/2, and Spy Family Season 2. What were you picking? I'll say I think I picked Konosuba Season 3. I'm pretty
like
positive I picked
Konosuba.
Konosuba Season
Definitely
3.
Konosuba.
Yeah, Konosuba is probably the more comedy around my taste.
The winner was Mashal Season 2.
Okay.
Next up, Best Romance Anime. A Sign of Affection, Blue Box, Too Many Losing Heroines, Ranma 1/2, Scott Pilgrim Takes Off, and The Dangers in My Heart Season 2.
Take that, Mal.
Get wrecked. Get freaking wrecked.
Yeah. I like Dangers in My Heart the most.
I'd probably pick Ranma because it was so fun and so different.
Yeah. I think when I did the list, I think I picked Dangers in My Heart as well. But, like, now that I've seen Too Many Losing Heroines, I would have picked that one instead. I liked it better. But Blue Box won. Shocker, yeah, right? Like everybody in the world loves Blue Box right now. It's kind of weird. Kind of weird how popular that became. All right, best background art. Dandadan, Delicious in Dungeon, Demon Slayer, Frieren, Pluto, Apothecary Diaries.
Freak, dude, that's a tough one.
I like Pluto for its sci-fi stuff, but probably went to Frieren.
Any guess? I personally would have picked Frieren. Apothecary Diaries and Dandadan's like a close second, but like I'm actually rewatching Frieren right now just on the side, and like, yeah, those backgrounds are crazy. They're killer.
I'll shake it up. I'll say Kaiju.
It's not on the
They're not
nominee.
Kaiju. Dandadan.
The winner actually was Frieren.
Nice.
Best director. We got, I'll just leave the name of the shows. Dandadan, Demon Slayer, Frieren, One Piece, the movie, I believe, Apothecary Diaries, and Delicious in Dungeon.
Frieren.
Dandadan.
I probably would have picked Frieren as well. Oh, freaked. I don't know. Dandadan was really good, very well directed too, compared to like side by side with the manga. I think I still would have picked Frieren, though, just because I just more biased towards that show. Frieren did win that one. Next up is Best Character Design. You got Dandadan, Delicious in Dungeon, Demon Slayer, Frieren, Kaiju number 8, and The Apothecary Diaries.
Those kaijus do look pretty cool.
Yeah, I think I'm going to say Kaiju.
You guys both saying that one?
Yeah.
I think I would have said Dandadan. I think I did say Dandadan back then, and Dandadan did win. And mostly just because when I look at characters, I didn't even think about the kaijus themselves. I only thought of like main characters. And whenever a show does something where like the characters wear different clothes than they did in the previous episode, it stands out to me pretty heavily. And that's probably why I picked Dandadan back then, or why I would pick it now still. And Dandadan did win. Next up, Best Animation. We got Dandadan, Delicious in Dungeon, Demon Slayer, Frieren, Kaiju number 8, and Solo Leveling.
Freaking A, that one's a tough one too.
Yeah. Personally, I also would have picked Frieren for this one. Once again, biased a little bit. I think Solo Leveling has like incredible fight scenes, and their animations for their fight scenes are really, really good. But I think that's about all they have running for them personally. The rest of it's kind of just generic. Dandadan's also very similar to that. Like when they want to do a good moment, they make sure the animation looks phenomenal. But when it's just kind of like normal stuff, it looks good, just not like crazy.
Frieren, literally like every little moment is just like incredibly realistic moment.
That was my thought process why I would pick Frieren, because there was a lot of those little moments. Like, why did they just do like a million frames just to have the person turn their head? You know.
See, I think if that Demon Slayer season was like a typical Demon Slayer season where it was phenomenal and looked like a movie all the time, I would have picked that. But this Demon Slayer season was not fun. There were some good moments, but I'd probably say Frieren as well.
Well, you should have picked Demon Slayer because that's what won.
Oh, my Lord.
Freaking A, dude.
Next up, Best Original Anime.
Fake fan.
Fake fan. We got Buchigiri, Girls Band Cry, Jellyfish Can't Swim in the Night, Metallic Rouge, Ninja Kamui, and Train to the End of the World.
The only one I've seen of this was Metallic Rouge, and that show sucked.
I did drop that show after like 3 episodes.
I dropped as well. I'm going to say Girls Band Cry. I think that one was stupid popular.
What were you going to say?
I'd probably say Girls Band Cry as well. That one was pretty popped off.
I picked Jellyfish Can't Swim in the Night because that's the one I watched, and I really, really, really liked it. But Ninja Kamui won. I don't know anything about Ninja Kamui, though.
It was the Adult Swim one. It was the Adult Swim is like really doubling down on like original productions. Ninja Kamui is one of them.
I see.
One of the recent ones.
Next up, Best New Anime Series. Dandadan, Delicious in Dungeon, Frieren, Kaiju number 8, Solo Leveling, and The Apothecary Diaries.
It's going to be Solo Leveling. But I want Frieren. I want to be Frieren.
I'd probably pick Frieren as well.
Yeah, mine's close between Dandadan and Frieren. I remember being just as hyped for both of those to get anime adaptations, but I think Frieren was slightly more because I found Frieren, whereas Thane told me to read Dandadan. So I had a little bit of that hipster bias right there. And of course, Solo Leveling won. Next up is Best Continuing Anime Series. You got Bleach, Demon Slayer, My Hero Academia, One Piece, Oshinoko, and Spy Family. Which one was the favorite of the continuing shows?
I don't watch the One Piece anime, so I can't vote One Piece, but probably
for me, I'd probably just say Oshinoko because that's like the only one I'm really watching.
My heart says Oshinoko, but my God, that last My Hero season was freaking hype.
Yeah.
I'm going to pick My Hero.
Man, we're all wrong. It was Demon Slayer again.
Oh, Lord.
How? That one was so bad. This season was so bad.
This one didn't have nominees. They just gave this award out for global impact. What anime in 2024 would you say had the biggest global impact?
People talking about it?
Sure, people talk about it, makes it kind of mainstream, all of those kind of things.
Probably Solo Leveling.
Yeah.
I probably would have said Solo Leveling as well if it was season 2, but they actually said it was Attack on Titan.
Oh, that's because everybody's salty. Babies.
Yeah. I think that finished last year. Is that correct?
Is it like It's like the Games for Impact where it's like got a social message or something?
Oh, I don't know. I just assumed it was like most talked about.
I guess like
I don't have the answer to all that.
About Attack on Titan, like about freedom and control, or I don't know.
We have Anime Film of the Year. I'm just gonna say the winner because I don't really know much of the other ones, but it was Look Back, the Fujimoto one. And then here we are, Anime of the Year. Dandadan, Delicious in Dungeon, Frieren, Kaiju Number 8, Solo Leveling, or Apothecary Diaries.
My heart says Frieren.
Mine as well, but I know Solo Leveling won.
I also picked Frieren, but it was indeed Solo Leveling.
Good
was
Lord.
Anime of the Year. Mind you, this is just season 1 we're talking about. People liked it enough to... I think it was just because season 2 was airing at the time they were doing the thing, and so everyone was like, "So season 2 is so good, I got to pick season 1."
Oh, well,
but there you have it, the anime awards via Crunchyroll, as well as our thoughts about them. You can see we're all very excited for Solo Leveling.
It's fun. It's fine.
I'm fine with it being Anime of the Year as well, by the way. I think the only one I can't really excuse is giving Sung Jinu character the best character of the year. Because he didn't even have a character in season 1.
Yeah, you know what's funny about that, too?
Everybody hated when he had a character.
Exactly. My favorite moment, the best character development moment, everyone hated because he lost his aura.
Don't worry, he aura farmed the next episode and got it all back.
Go lick a tree, man. Freaking A. That still bothers me. I don't know why. You can have whatever opinion you want, but you're wrong.
Well, I think it wraps up our Crunchyroll anime news stuff. I don't have any traditional news. We were just going to do that for then. I think briefly, I do want to talk about one show seasonally. And I think it's fair to bring this one up because all three of us are excitedly watching it. And that is 2B Hero X. I think this is probably going to be one of the best shows of the season. And it's not even anime, if you will.
That's only according to Reddit.
According to r/Reddit or Reddit r/anime, it is not an anime. I don't know how you define it. I mean, obviously you can hard define it. Anime is Japanese animation.
It obviously has anime studios working on it. I think it was A1 Pictures.
I saw Mappa's name
on there too.
So, who knows? Who knows how you define it anymore? Apparently, you said Scott Pilgrim wasn't on Mal, even though that was by Science Saru.
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense.
And it got nominated by Crunchyroll.
Yeah, who freaking knows? Regardless, 2B Hero X is crazy. I don't think we've had a bad episode. I really don't. I think every single episode I've seen has had their moments of dang, that's really good. Wow, I want to keep going. Let's keep watching. As of watching this, we've seen episode. I don't think have you guys seen the newest episodes?
You watched it.
I have yet to watch it. So I've seen episode up to 5. And we've seen essentially 2 separate story arcs within these 5 episodes. And they're not complete story arcs. And that's the thing that I want to like point out is that they're not complete story arcs. If I had to guess, they're all going to like do the thing where things start getting interwoven later on into the series. And we're going to start seeing like crossover between all the different characters that we've had all these little backstories for.
Yeah, they left us on a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
For like 4 episodes.
Yes.
I'll tell you right now, this latest episode, completely different character now.
I figured. I saw the little the thumbnail and I noticed it was a character I'd never seen. So I'm just like, well, we're going to do another story arc. Yeah, so that's my theory, is that they're going to be telling us these stories of all these different characters and how they impact the world, and how the world has impacted them, and how they will eventually impact each other. There is something at the end of episode, I think 2 or 3, that indicates it's something from another character that we already know about. And so, without spoiling anything, like, you can already get glimpses of potential like crossing over. So I'm very excited to see where this show is going to go. I think it's good. I literally think it's going to be the best show you can watch this season.
Is it an anime original? Or
Yeah.
Technically, it's set in the same world as something else that the directors also wrote, but that was also original. So, yeah, technically, I would say it's anime original, not based off of anything. Yeah, for real, To Be Hero X is pretty dang good. If you're not watching it, you're literally just missing out on the best thing you could be watching this season, probably.
If you think the latest season of Demon Slayer was a banger, then this is like the greatest anime you will ever watch.
Some big words. Well, did you guys have anything else you wanted to bring up before we get into Inuyashiki? It doesn't.
I like Death Stranding.
What is Lamp?
Sorry, that's not anime.
How could you? Not anime. That's Norman Reedus.
Although it could make a great anime.
That was how Thane wanted to sneak in his Monster sponsor.
It's no longer sponsored by Monster. You look at the table, now it's just Bridges Energy.
Lame.
Yeah, it's like, they couldn't keep it.
I don't
think if I find it funny, you can drink 5 whole big boy cans in one sitting. It's like he'd be dead. He would die.
It's a lot of caffeine.
Yeah.
It's a lot of caffeine.
That's caffeine overdose right there.
Well, I think it is time then. We can now start talking about Inuyashiki Last Hero. Full-on spoilers for the series, so you've been warned. That's your warning. Enjoy. Thane, you picked this show for it. No, Skylar, you picked this show for us. Sorry, I'm just my brain is so much so it was a Thane show. So, Skylar, you picked this show for us. Tell us about it.
Well, this is a sad boy hour, so if you don't want to be sad, don't listen. This show starts off with this old man who, he's 58, but he looks like he's 94, and he's in pain. His family doesn't really like him. I guess they kind of portray it that way in the beginning anyway. It's like, you're a piece of crap, Dad, and the wife doesn't really care for him. Anyway, he's chilling out at this park one night, and he just looks up, and he sees a dude. There's a dude there at the park with him, and then they get taken out by a meteor? Or
It's
is
a
it
meteor.
a spaceship?
It was a meteor.
I don't remember. I thought it was aliens. Aliens did something
Well, it
to
looked
him.
like a meteor, but I think it crashes and
Alien
it's actually
spaceship,
a
maybe?
spaceship.
Yeah. Well, anyway, these two, this old man and the boy, die, and the aliens are like, freaking A, we shouldn't have killed them. What do we gotta do? We gotta blah, blah. Then next scene, old man wakes up, and he's a robot, and so is the boy, and he can't really die anymore. He's basically Astro Boy. But the boy goes and kills a bunch of people, and the old man saves a bunch of people, so it's one's the hero, one's the villain.
It's like, what would you do if you were giving him like incredible power? What would you use your incredible power for? We see both spectrums essentially.
Yeah.
Also, a lot of people have cancer in this show. The old man had cancer.
He did indeed, yes, before he turned into a robot man.
It's like, hey guys, cancer for everybody. Maybe you shouldn't smoke so much.
To be fair, it is Tokyo. There's bajillions of people there. I'm sure there's plenty of people there that have it.
Yeah, it's true.
So like it makes sense the way they do it. But you're not wrong. It does seem a little convenient that there were a lot of like quote unquote main characters that were like That was one of their things, is they had it or have a potential to get it. Anyway, regardless, first initial impressions of the show, exactly what Skylar said. Sad boy hours, depresso mode. Like, wowzers, this is a sad show. It makes you feel horrible while you're watching it. You feel like the lowest of the low, and you just don't know what to do about it anymore.
And there's points where, like, when you first start watching, you're like, oh my, and then it just keeps going. You're like, no, it can't get worse than this, and it does.
It's like the train wreck you can't look away from. But I actually wanted to look away. I was just like, I can't watch this anymore. And I would actually literally all right, I'm done. I can't watch this anymore. And I got to go watch something more uplifting and happy.
The most episodes I watched in one sitting was 2.
I think I watched the last 3 in a row, but it was the last one. So there's a little bit more hopeful in them.
Right,
you know?
right.
It wasn't just like, I'm going to go murder a family and their kids. It's just like, yikes. Yeah, that was my initial thoughts.
This show, when you watch episode 1, you're like, oh, this could be a show. And then you watch episode 2 and you're like, oh my gosh. It's shocking, to say the least. Very shocking, because it's a completely different tonal shift from what you think it's going to be.
And then you realize who wrote it.
Yeah.
The writer of Gantz.
I did not know that going into this.
Yeah.
Which I know I've said it before, but I like to pick shows that none of us have seen, or try to anyway. It's really hard to get things by Thane because he just knows everything.
It's you kind of would see that coming, because Gantz, it starts intense and just keeps going.
It snowballs. That's the best way to describe it. It's a snowball all the way to the end.
Starts with the main character getting decapitated by a train.
Yeah.
So you're like, holy shit.
That is Gantz.
Yeah.
The intro freaking slaps. The intro is so freaking good.
It's pretty good.
I love the song. I thought the animation was super cool. There's a lot of interesting artistic depictions of things. It's really, really cool. I really liked the intro. I pretty much listened to it every single time.
I enjoyed it. I don't think I liked it as much as you did.
I like Man with a Mission.
But I thought it was fun. Yeah. Is that the band?
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Do you know what else they've done?
Golden Kamuy, first opening. They did Log Horizon. They did Iron Blood Orphans.
Yeah, that's a banger opening. I
good.
know that one too. Yeah. That's one of my favorite openings in shows. I didn't even finish that show, but I loved that opening. It's really hard to talk about this show as a broad thing, so I think we can dive deep into like the themes and the messages of the show, right? I think like the overarching just like message is just like the classic, don't be a douche.
Don't be evil.
Don't be a jerk. Obviously it takes it to like a huge scale of like someone being a jerk, but it basically starts out like don't be a jerk, right? It slowly like snowballs, and you see that this dude, the reason I started acting the way he was, the way he decided like, who freaking cares about people that I don't care about? Like, they should just die, because why do they exist? And I think it started out with him because people didn't I don't know, people were douches to him. People were douches to people he cared about. So I think he stopped caring about people in general. Obviously, it's not something you can fix. And I think also part of it, and which is probably part of the message, is how you react to people being jerks to you. Which is really cool. You see literally both sides of the coin with the show.
Right. And at the very end, it kind of, they hit the nail on the head and very blatantly tell you when the old man, I can't remember if he's talking to Shishigami. I can't remember if he's talking to him or not, but he just basically talks about like, what's the value of life? And the old man, he got pleasure, and he said, I've never felt more human than when saving people.
Yeah.
And then he's talking to Shishigumi. He's like, you probably feel that way when you kill people.
And he didn't really like say no. He didn't really respond either.
Right.
But Inuyashiki was just like, oh freak, I was right when I said that. Oh gosh, that sucks. I'm sorry, dude. Like, I don't know what to tell you.
And then at that moment, he realizes he's the villain. He even says like, oh, so I'm the villain? I'm the bad guy? It's like, yeah.
See, the part that, and this is probably just me looking into it too much, but their personalities stayed, right? So this is still a 15, 16-year-old kid, however old he is. But also at points, the robot takes over when the freaking camera pops out of the head.
They go in autopilot.
Yeah. So
when they like sustain a bunch of damage, they go to autopilot.
Right.
Mode, yeah.
So does the autopilot of the robot, is that just like straight survival mode, or do they still have the motives of the circuit that is inside them?
See, I wondered that as well. I would argue they still have motives of the person, or because if they didn't, I don't think they would have kept fighting each other during that scene, because they both went autopilot mode and they both just kept fighting each other.
Right. And the other time that Shishigumi went autopilot was when it was like the SWAT team or something was taking him down, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
And then he still slaughtered everybody.
And the old man went autopilot mode against the mob, the Yakuza.
Yeah.
Right.
But he only...
But he didn't
still didn't kill anybody.
Right.
He only took out their eyes.
Yep.
Interesting.
So I do think it was still their brain, more or less, like controlling the autopilot mode. Their morals, anyway. Their morals still were intact.
I think this show did a fine job of portraying the morals and stuff. And for me, it also left a lot to be desired with like the world building that they could go with this type of thing. But this is, to me, a one and done.
Yeah, it was absolutely like, we have this cool idea and we're going to introduce it in the most stupidest way possible just so we can introduce it. Because how else are we going to make these people robots all of a sudden? So we're going to just make them robots, get that done and gone. Like, don't even think about it anymore because it doesn't matter. Just because we want to tell the story about this rather than the how they became the robots. Speaking of, though, like, it's funny. Like, they mentioned the asteroid, like, probably 5 episodes before the end, maybe 6 episodes, right around, like, 3/4 of the way to 2/3 of the way through. And the moment they said the asteroid was coming, I was just like, well, I already know the ending. They're both going to have to blow it up together or whatever. Like, it's not going to be a one-man job. But they're both doing it.
Yeah.
And so it was kind of interesting to see how they still progress to that. And Shishigami's, like, whole story, even though it was, like, the most depressing and saddest part to watch of the show, it was also the most compelling, honestly. Because you get to see his whole morals take multiple turns, multiple shifts throughout the entire time. It literally starts out like, hey, I'll beat up those bullies for you. And the dude's like, no, don't beat up the bullies. Like, it sucks, but don't beat them up. He's like, okay. He's like, I'm going to beat them. I'm going to kill them. Like, I'm just going to kill the bullies. He's like, dude, why'd you kill the bullies? He's like, oh, shoot. Well, I already did it. I guess I'll just keep doing that. And he keeps killing people. And the girl is like, stop killing people. And he's just like, okay, I guess I'll stop killing people. And then she's like, okay, help people. And she slowly starts helping people. And he does it's interesting because his approach to helping people was the same approach he has to killing people later on, where he would keep a quota. Remember, because after he gets on healing people, he's like, all right, I did 50 today. Good job, me.
Right.
Even though he was helping people and trying to, like, reverse his morals and his thought process, he still didn't feel anything about it. He didn't feel anything for it. And so eventually he obviously reverted back to killing people when, even though he changed, the world around him didn't change. And so he was like, well, if they're not going to change, why should I? And so he just went back to killing people.
See, in the moment that I thought, too, it was going to click for him of, like, or at least just seeing the value of life, and maybe it did, and I just didn't read between the lines, but it's when his mom died. He's just like, oh, F. Huh.
Yeah, he's like, life matters.
He's like, life matters. And in my head, I'm like, okay, dude, awesome. So now you see how you feel about your mother passing. Now imagine all of those people and families that you slaughtered that are still alive, and they have to deal with that grief too. But obviously that wasn't the case, because he's like, well, F it, my mom's dead. F everyone. I want to kill everyone.
Well, yes and no, because, like, he did kind of, like, he stopped killing people from then on, and then he went to his dad's house and saw all those reporters there, and that's when he freaked out again. He instantly went, oh, yeah, that's right. People are this way. Why shouldn't I kill them? Like I said, it went back and forth between why am I killing people again? Oh, yeah, I'm killing people because people suck. And yeah, people suck. Like, that's kind of just like the point of that's part of life. People suck. And clearly we see the not great approach to responding to people being sucky people. I don't know. It's like I said, it's a very fascinating like moral conundrum that we can easily apply to real life. But what it just comes down to is you just got to respond in a good way. And he didn't, because he had the power to not, essentially.
Yeah, I mean, he could play God. And he lays that out, too. I can't remember who he's talking to, but maybe it was a monologue. I can't remember. Maybe you guys remember. But he literally lays out all his powers where he's like, I could detonate nukes and blow up entire countries.
Yep. He's talking to his buddy. That's what it was.
Was his buddy?
Yeah. They're like, I don't know, just briefly just talk. I think they're like walking home after he killed the bullies or something. He was talking about the stuff he could do, I think.
Yeah. I think the other thing, too, though, and I guess for me just being an audience member watching it, I couldn't shake the fact that this is just a stupid teenager. Like, this kid doesn't freaking know. He reads manga, you know? Like, he's still... I don't think he could tell the difference between, and maybe he could tell the difference between reality and whatnot, but it seems skewed where his value and outlook on life, for me anyway, could have been through like a fantasy perspective.
I don't know if I agree with that completely. I see where you're coming from. Absolutely, I do. But there's something innate inside of humans, I think, that kind of tell us a little bit. Like, we can kind of just be like, oh, I'm that person. I'm a person like that person. We are similar. So, I don't know, like the golden rule, right? Treat people how you want to be treated or whatever.
Right, and maybe psychopaths like him don't have it. I don't know.
I guess so. Yeah, that's... I don't know. I'm always I'm always like one for just assuming that if they more or less become a jerk to other people for no reason other than being a jerk to other people, there's something that has happened in their life that they experience in their life at some point or currently that makes them want to act out in a specific way. And I think for this kid, it was literally like I was saying, like all he ever saw was people be jerks to people.
Right.
He's like, why would I be a good person to someone else if I'm not going to, like, you know, why should I have to be a good person to someone if they're not going to be a good person back? And I don't know. Like I said, I that's my moral thing is, yeah, people suck. People are going to be jerks to you, but you got to be a good person back because better to be a good person than be a jerk.
Right. And I guess maybe another way I could phrase it is like going back to how one of the main themes that you're talking about is being able to respond well to situations.
Sure.
Him being a 16-year-old kid or however old he is, teenager, he obviously hasn't lived enough life to respond well, which is another reason why teenagers probably shouldn't have the ability to play God.
Absolutely, yeah.
So
his immaturity and inexperience with life definitely leads to a lot of these things, and that's why he probably jumps to giant leaps rather than just short, small leaps, and also because he has the means to jump to those large means as well.
Right.
I know what I understand what you're saying. I feel like he's a little bit too old to kind of think that way. If he was like closer to 12, I could kind of get behind what you're saying. Because I don't know, like kids are smart. Kids. I think you're giving them not enough credit.
See, and I don't know because I've been around kids, and I even have younger siblings where I used to think that like a 16-year-old was pretty mature. I'm around kids all the time, and I think that they're dumb.
I agree. I think kids are dumb too, but I think they're. I don't know. I don't know if you're giving. I don't know. The ones that I've been around, I guess, in my life, I don't like my nieces and nephews. The oldest is like 15, 16, and then the ones I just be around like 10, 11, 12, like I would argue that they're like they have dumb kid ideas,
yeah,
they like the chicken jockey as much as everyone else. But like I don't know, I feel like they would have a good idea of like, oh, that guy's being a jerk to me. Maybe I shouldn't respond. And you'll see them respond as a jerk back, right? Because that's what the kids do.
Right.
But I feel like I honestly think it's right around that. Maybe it is just around that age then. I don't know. Maybe he just didn't respond right away.
Obviously, it's tough. I mean, you can't put everybody in the same.
Yeah. That's probably what it comes down to is everybody has different levels and times they become more mature.
And I guess some of the reason why I feel that way about Shishigami is because there's like, I just slaughtered a bunch of people. Hey, buddy, like, want to read some manga? I just want to read manga with you and hang out.
Psychopath.
Right.
tendency.
And I kind of got that, but it
I
also
have a
was like,
feeling
oh,
that
this
even-
kid's just
I have
really
a feeling
immature.
that even if he didn't get robot powers, I have a feeling he would probably been like a serial killer.
Well,
eventually.
maybe he did in his head, but
Yeah.
he was kind of just
Also,
a little nerd.
I want to say, like, so I watched I listened to a podcast, like, around the time watching this, and it was about a murder of, like, a family in Japan back in, like, 2000. And then I go off to watching this show. It's like, oh, this is, like, the worst show to watch right now. I just read about that, man. That's awful.
I think it's probably just an amalgamation of it, which I think is another reason why Shishigami is probably a good character, because he's got layers to him of maybe it really is just up to the audience member to kind of translate how they think it is. Obviously, it's not necessarily how he got to where he is, but it goes back to what you've said several times, Cole. It's how you respond to adversity or people being dickbags, you know?
I think the hardest part about the conversation is just the fact that he does have these god powers. Like, if he didn't have these powers, like what Thane was saying, would he still become like a serial killer or something like that? There's a chance there.
Yeah.
I'm not saying he would be or not, but I think there's still definitely a chance there. He could just become a straight up psychopath, and it just happens, I guess. Like, people don't take things the right way, and I don't know.
And maybe it would be a little easier to understand, too, if we got to see more of how he got to where he was mentally, because we didn't get
to see much of that. We saw more of
his
that
parents
for
were
Inuyashiki.
divorced.
Sure, but that's not enough to all of a sudden become this. You saw when he went to his dad's house, his siblings there loved him. They were having a good time.
Maybe he needed an Uncle Ben in his life. You know, with
Maybe
great power
he-
comes great
Well,
responsibility.
maybe an Uncle Ben.
I guess that's the other thing, too, though, is we just didn't really see, because his mom seemed like a good person. His dad seemed like a good person.
Like, they may have been living paycheck to paycheck, but plenty of people do that. Like, they're still good people. And so I think you're right, Scott. I just don't think we saw enough of what made him the way he was. We just saw the very, the surface level. Like I was saying, we saw bullies be jerks to people, and that's about it. Like, I don't know. I could, it would be a lot easier to, peg this if, one of his parents was, abusive or something like that. But they seemed like they were good parents.
Because to me, it seemed like, and I don't even know if he was bullied specifically, but it seems like it was just his buddy.
I think he was just seeing other people be bullied, and he just went, wow, people suck to other people. Why do they do that?
I think one of the greatest...
I think also it's because, his mentality of, wow, I'm a god now. I can do
Exactly,
whatever I
yeah.
want.
And that's kind of what we're saying is, once he gets these powers, he just goes crazy with them.
Yeah.
I think the best portrayal of seeing a villain become a villain in any form of media that I've seen personally is the Joker with Walking Phoenix, where you literally see the man become the Joker and how he could take steps to get to that.
The reason why.
Yeah, exactly, the reason. And I guess with this, we didn't really get that. And maybe that's why I was leaning more towards the psychopathic, immature side of him. But
I don't know. I see what you're coming from. It just seems like he was a little bit too old to have immature psychopathy. But who knows? Who freaking knows? You're right. Everyone's different in age, and everybody has different maturity levels based on their circumstances. And fortunately, we don't know the circumstances.
well, even just comparing him to his friend. His friend's like, bro, what the F? His friend acts
What's
like a
wrong
normal
with
human.
you?
Yeah, what are you doing, bro? Chill out, stop.
He was being bullied, and he was like, man, dude, you're messed up in the head, man.
Yeah, he was the one that was actually being bullied. You're right. And I guess just what I was saying earlier, you just take it a different way.
Right. See, he seems way more mature and has a hold on reality versus his friend. But once again, we don't really see much of Shishigami other than
When he's crazy.
when he's crazy and then he's like, oh, I just want to read manga with you, pal.
Yeah.
That's all we get.
You're not wrong. It's hard to base everything off that, but with what we are given, it's pretty easy to assume that he just has a lower level of maturity than most people, especially his age.
Right.
So let's flip tables over to Inuyashiki now. As sad and depressing as it was to watch Shishigami just go around killing people, I think Inuyashiki had the most depressing moments in the entire series. Early on, you see him trying to save that young couple, right? And it's just oh my gosh, I'm so happy it worked out for them. But holy cow, it is just gut wrencher. It just pulls you in your freaking emotions. You feel like crap as you watch those episodes.
You want to know the worst thing that big dick tall Yakuza guy. His voice was Kazuma Kiryu, and I was like, evil Kazuma Kiryu, no.
But like, yeah, I don't know. It's so interesting to see how he wanted to respond to the things around him so much differently than Shishigami. And obviously that's the whole point of the show. Like we said earlier, it's what do you choose to do with this new power you have? How do you save things or how do you kill things? And man, they really get you right in the feels with everything that Inuyashiki did. Like, he saved that couple. When he goes to the hospitals and tries to perform miracles, try to heal people and stuff like that. And then the whole scene with his daughter, like, in the freaking building as it's burning. Oh, my gosh. I'm happy that it worked out.
Right.
But, like, holy cow. Like, that hurt just to even fathom what was happening. It was so, so depressing.
His family was kind of underdeveloped. Like, yeah, sure. His daughter got that one it's like, I want to be a manga artist.
Yeah.
But didn't go really anywhere until the end, at least.
So looking really heavily into like writing and stuff, the only reason I can see that they put that into this series was straight up just so you have a little bit more emotional depth built into this character, so that moment with Inuyashiki
I would have liked
hits
to
harder.
I would like to see more of his son, how he deals with like his bullies, because at the end, like he like you don't see him fight, but he like punched a kid and he walks away crying.
Yeah,
It's like, okay, so I guess he's a stronger
just
person.
stands up for himself, I guess now.
But it's like we could have seen a little bit more of that.
Yeah, it's interesting though with the daughter, because like, sure, we get to see a little bit about her life, and that's why we care about her, but we don't really care about her. We only care about Inuyashiki.
Right.
And the reason why that scene hits hard is simply just because they have that moment of Inuyashiki tells his wife, like, yeah, if she wants to do it, we should do it. Like, she should do it. If she wants to try to become a manga artist, then she should try. And then you have that little connection of the two, and they're like all of a sudden rekindled their bond essentially, and all of a sudden like, wow, this person actually does care about me, and then that's why she calls him right away. Of course, she also knew that he had powers, so that kind of helps to call, but like, you get what I mean. Yeah, everything that dude went through, it was just so sad, but also just like, dang, like faith in humanity restored kind of moments. Like, I'm happy that there's some people out there that would potentially do good things with the powers that they get.
What I thought was really interesting too is like within the same episode, the writer does, and this has to go with like the direction of the animation and the acting as well. But in the same episode, you go from Shishigami, who will literally slaughter a family like it's nothing, just weightless, murders 5 people, kills a dad, the dad drowns the son, and then he walks away.
Yeah.
And you're just like, oh. And then in the same episode, Inuyashiki goes to the hospital and he cures that kid, and then that kid walks out and the nurse like freaks out, literally freaks out. So you get the it's that the value of life, you know, you literally go from a killer who doesn't see value in life at all to the old man heals one person. I mean, he healed tons of people, but in that scene specifically, he heals one person, and how it was like, wow, very powerful.
Honestly, like, this show's good. It's a freaking banger. It's a really, really good show. It's incredibly depressing, and it makes you feel like crap as you watch it. But it really does have good messages and good morals, and you, in the end, you feel good about watching it. I very much so appreciate that they didn't try to redeem Shishigami at all. I don't think the way he was acting is very redeemable. I don't think he's anywhere near as, like, bad as, like, the big bads of the famous history world, like Hitler and such. Yeah. But who's to say he couldn't have gotten that far, right?
Right.
And so I wouldn't say he was redeemed in the end, but I'm happy to see that he ended up choosing a good thing.
Right.
So, and maybe that just goes.
He's no Ted Bundy, but
yeah. Well, he probably did worse than Ted Bundy.
Yeah.
He did a lot worse than Ted
worse than Ted Bundy. He's more like a Unabomber.
Yeah. Even more than that, though, I think. Regardless, it doesn't matter. It is cool to see, though, that part of the reason why he ended up doing what he did, becoming a better person in the end, was because of the influences around him. that were specifically around him. Obviously, he had Inuyashiki, and then he had his buddy that he could read manga with. Those two people,
And the girl too.
yeah, and the girl to your right, I forgot about her. But those three people really had a big impact on him for good, even though he was so twisted and messed up. And if it wasn't for those good influences, he wouldn't have done what he did, I don't think. He'd just been like, yeah, whatever. Let the freaking asteroid blow it up.
Yeah.
He would have dropped the third nuke.
Yeah, he would have freaking blown up his body in, like, Times Square or something like that. I don't freaking know.
Well, when he was up there too, because Inuyashiki's like, "What are you doing here, bro?" And the kid's like, "I knew I'd find you here." And then he's like, "Well, why are you here?" He's like, "Well, I care about Choco, my buddy, and I care about the girl. I don't want them to die."
Yeah.
It's like, so maybe he did at that point see the value of life of like, if I feel this way about them, other people probably feel the same way about people they care about.
Yeah. Cool show. Really cool show. Final thing, I think it's funny that he poked fun at Gantz. I think it's really hilarious. They go to Choco's room, and he's got all these Gantz posters. Man, you read Gantz? Gantz sucks.
Yeah.
You can't even understand what's going on. Very funny. Very self-aware. I'm a big fan of that because everything he said is true. Gantz does kind of suck. Hard to follow, but, like, you don't really need to understand. I don't know. Regardless, that's another story, but...
And later after this one, he write a story about a woman who grows giant and gets nude in Tokyo.
Yeah, yes, he does.
I haven't read that one yet.
I've not read that one either.
It's called Gigant.
Yeah.
Question. In the story, Inuyashiki's daughter talks to somebody about manga. Was that Choco or not?
No,
because it sounded.
Yeah, he's like, "Hey, I want to be a manga artist." She's like, "How selfish." She's a big hypocrite.
Yeah, and she's talking to someone, and they call him Oda-kun. Is that like trying to imply that that's Ichiro Oda's son or something like that? Because he said, your dad's in Jump. Why do you think you can do it?
Probably. I didn't even pick up on that.
I saw that, and I was like, are they like they've been like they were dropping One Piece all the time? Yeah. So I'm just like, are they trying to like say that this is freaking Oda's son or something like that? I thought that was interesting.
Probably.
I thought that was a weird little thing. I don't think it's got anything.
I think Oda's a very common last name, so
it could be. But like they specifically said, your dad's in Jump too. Like what other Odas have ever in Jump?
They've said One Piece. True. They said One Piece a couple times throughout the show.
I don't think there's I don't
think like he murdered entire families. Like, oh, what's your favorite One Piece character?
Oh, I know. Gosh, bro, that's brutal. I don't think there's any weight to any of that. I just think it was a funny little like inclusion they threw in there. But I picked up on that and I was like, huh, interesting. Any final thoughts on the series, the show?
If you're a woman and you want to write manga, Blue Box is a very popular one written by a woman.
Yeah.
Oh, I want to know, Inuyashiki, he's a family guy. He's got a wife, 2 kids. Well, he's missing one, but
they got the
and
dog.
He's got a dog, and he wears a white shirt sometimes.
He's a family guy.
Yeah, but good show, hard to watch. Hard to recommend.
Oh yeah, because, brutally hard to recommend.
But if you have the stomach and you have the heart, go for it.
Yeah, honestly.
So hope you don't hate us afterwards.
Good show.
Yeah.
Really good show. I'm glad you picked it, but man, it was hard to watch at times. It feels bad.
I had to watch Fire Force in between.
Yeah, I was watching.
I mean, I like
The
Fire
Office
Force,
in between.
Yeah.
I'd like watch an episode of this, then watch The Office, and just like enjoy life again for a second there.
Good thing it's only 11 episodes.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy it was fairly short.
Yeah.
If there was a season 2, I'd kind of want to watch it, but also kind of not. Would you guys season 2 this?
Maybe. Also, I have a conspiracy theory, or just a theory. I assume that meteorite was sent from the aliens to erase their mistake.
Fix their mistake.
Yeah.
I can see it. Oh, yeah. I liked the Donald Trump meme too.
Yeah,
He's just all like, "You guys all suck. I got president. I'm happy. I'm good enough to die. I'm okay dying."
Yeah. But I guess stupid. It all worked. It worked out for the aliens because they ended up blowing themselves up to stop the meteorite. So
yeah, fair.
Maybe that was their ploy. It's like either they'll let it crash or they'll blow themselves up.
Either way, they die. Yeah. That's all they cared about. Would you season 2 this guy?
I don't know. It just depends. I think I'm interested in a lot of the sci-fi concepts. But I don't know if they would delve into that. I guess if they did, I would. But I don't know.
If they did a season 2, I'd hope it just be the aliens effed up again and made 2 more robots, and then they have more moral conundrums rather than exploring the sci-fi elements of it personally, but that's just me. I probably would watch a season 2. I'd try it out. I'd give it a couple episodes anyway. It'd be like a hesitance, like a okay, I don't know if I want to get into this because I don't want to cry, I don't want to feel bad all of a sudden.
And if it wasn't for the direct Gantz reference, you can make a theory that was in the Gantz universe. But that guy had Gantz posters, so
He did a Gantz posters.
That's not, you can't connect it.
Well, I think it's that time that I go ahead and pick the show that we will be watching over the next 2 weeks. And I am picking a show that I don't know much about. I have heard decent things about it, and I've heard the art is good, so I'm looking forward to it. It's got 2 seasons. The first season is only 10 episodes, and it is called SHOSHIMIN, How to Become Ordinary.
How do you spell that?
SHOSHIMIN. SHOSHIMIN. Probably SHOSHIMIN.
MIN.
I don't know.
How to Become Ordinary?
How to Become Ordinary. It's a slice of life looking drama, romance kind of thing, so hopefully it's a palate cleanser for whatever Thane picks for us in 2 weeks.
Okay.
So we'll be watching that for the next 2 weeks. Enjoy How to Become Ordinary. I hope it's a good one. We'll see y'all then. Have a great life.
Bye.
Bye.